We loading up the hearse, throw it in reverse. I come from the church of the Marvel Universe. Bodies getting stuffed in the bags.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Cryptcast. I'm Mike.
And,
Yeah, good day?
well, I forgot my notes, but Megan gave me a little tidbit of information that today, the day we are actually recording,
Yeah.
is National Raspberry Day.
Okay.
So,
Like, that sound, or like the berry raspberry, just the...
it's a good question. I could
Actually,
be misrepresenting the day.
Yeah, I would assume that raspberries, because they're like in season now.
Yeah.
Not the... But that's fun, I guess.
Yesterday was more interesting to me. Yesterday was National Attack Irish Heritage Day. Otherwise known National Forgiveness Day. We don't believe in that, so I thought it was an attack on my people.
Okay. All right. Well, happy Fuck the Irish Day for you.
That was yesterday.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just belated.
Today's raspberries. Tomorrow, National Dimple Day.
I don't have any of those.
Me neither.
Yeah.
But, you
You can go around putting your fingers in people's dimples.
apparently Megan has this calendar at work that includes all of, like, these random days and just happened to impart some knowledge on me yesterday.
Oh boy, I'm going to tell you how much I don't care about any of that.
I just thought it would be fun to raspberry you.
Oh, yeah, sure. Everybody.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're coming to you from inside.
Also, I'm Brian.
Yeah, you just read the whole thing. Anyway,
That's what I do.
we're inside our store, inside our town in New Jersey.
Inside our state,
And,
inside our country, inside
And-
our planet, in our world, in the universe. Tiny little speck.
and we're going to talk about comics and stuff like we do on Wednesday, because it's Wednesday. First, I want to start with a follow-up to something we talked about and the title of last episode. Not like the review episode, but last time we talked to each other.
Uh-huh.
It was something along the lines of, have you ever seen a French tornado or something like that? Remember we talked-
beret.
I think you made the same joke last time.
There might be one outside.
Well, you had talked
currently
about
storming.
you had talked about Never Wars and a tornado during World War I, right? And I had
Yes.
brought up, are there European tornadoes? There are. I looked it up.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it's just you never hear about them.
Yeah.
But they happen mostly in places like Germany, Netherlands, France, Poland.
I heard that the rain in Spain stays mostly on the plains. Sorry. I had to.
Oh, you're in a mood today.
I guess.
But generally they happen in most of Europe. But again, it makes sense.
All right.
So.
Yeah. Tornadoes in Europe.
We do have an email from Tim. This one's going to be all you, buddy.
All me.
People who grew up in the 90s or just watched the movies tend not to like Cyclops. What would you say to persuade people to think of him differently? So, why should people like Cyclops?
Oh, I hate this. I don't even have my soapbox. Where do I stand?
No one can see it anyway.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, look, he's getting up on it.
My defense is always that Cyclops is Marvel's Batman. It's not Daredevil. It's not Black Panther. It's not even Tony Stark. Batman is the ultimate contingency planner in his universe, as is Scott Summers. Cap's leading skills always comes down to Avengers Assemble, let's go punch him. You don't necessarily see planning out of any Marvel's leadership guys except for Scott, like strategies and actual planning. And as far as like the parallels that I draw between him and Batman, orphaned his children, trained from a young age to fight the good fight. One raised by a British guy who treated him like a son. One raised by a guy portrayed by a British actor. Right, because Charles isn't British.
Nope.
But British descent.
He looks British. You would think he would
and
be
he
British.
sounds very British.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Probably is that like 1920s
His
mid-Atlantic
British
kind
eyebrows.
of.
Yeah. I always thought he was Scottish because of the plaid blanket over the wheelchair back in the day. It was, and then Muir Island and Moira was Scottish, and they had their relationship. So I just kind of almost
Weird parallel.
I didn't have any background.
Muir Island isn't in Ireland?
No, I don't think so.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, because she's Scottish. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry. I
yeah.
was like, I immediately went to Banshee. I'm like, oh, it's Irish.
Right. Also, there's a contingency planner thing during what was it? Fear Itself, when all the hammers fell. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite Cyclops lines of all time is when he's talking to the mayor of San Francisco, and Juggernaut has one of the hammers. He's possessed by some Asgardian god, and he's just terrorissing his way through California to get to San Francisco. And he sends Siren and Dazzler out together because their powers would amplify each other as a strategy, as an in-book, actual in-text strategy. And it doesn't work. And the mayor turns around and goes, so plan B? And just badass as hell, Scott turns around and goes, not plan B, plan 2. Plan B only implies I have 26 plans. Mm-hmm. Which is like, that's some Batman shit right there, man.
Sure.
Also, Superman defeated Lex Luthor and got his kryptonite ring. Gave it to Batman for safekeeping. If I ever went nuts, you'd be the guy to use it on me, kind of deal. In Marvel, it's a little lesser known than Lex's kryptonite ring, but there's a Maramassa blade. The Maramassa blade can kill people with healing factors and permanently injure them. When Wolverine got it from Romulus, who is an obscure character we're not going to talk about, he gave it to Scott for safekeeping. There's lots of parallels between the two characters.
So
the worst thing about both characters is their family.
But so is your only reasoning for why Scott is cool is that he's like Batman?
It's that he's like everything. He my favorite characters have always been characters that had qualities I don't possess, like willpower and self-control.
Cool visors, dead parents.
No, I have those.
Also, there is a storm happening right now, so excuse the thunder. I can't block it out.
But that was like cute lightning strike. Dead parents, I have those. Boom! No, but you look at willpower and self-control in the context of like a normal person like Batman, which is why I bitch about things like the Killing Joke. You take away his willpower and self-control, and he laughs with the Joker. That gives the Joker a win. I hate that scene. It's a great story, but I hate that scene. You take away his superpowers. He's not a superhero in that moment. Same thing with Scott. People. Let's go to the cartoon. Cartoon's like a famous Scott beef, right?
Sure.
Sure.
And I think
he left Morph to die.
I think that's what Tim is like. Basically, like if you're trying to pitch this to just a random, be like, hey, you should like Cyclops. This is why.
Well, the cartoon defense.
Well, I mean, but I was going to say the cartoon, I think, is a good example of why people don't like him.
Right. But the cartoon defense is, Wolverine's a guy who can get shot in the face and live. Mm-hmm. Therefore, when he runs back and saves the guy that's left behind, that's great. Like, Colossus can't do that. Nightcrawler can't do that. Like, these guys, you can do that. You go do that. If Scott doesn't continue to lead the team on the mission, the world doesn't get saved. And if we don't save the world, how fucking relevant is it that we saved Morph? Mm-hmm. So, Scott's the guy that never takes his eye off the prize. He never, he's always, the mission's always first. And he might be the teacher's pet, and he might be dull and cardboard, and he might be like the asshole, but he's the guy who gets the job done. Batman's the asshole, but he gets the job done. You don't have to like him, but he's right. Usually for your own good.
Sure.
Yeah, he's just the epitome of that kind of, I will do what's best for you, even if you hate me for it.
But that makes him unlikable.
It does make him unlikable, but, like, do you hate your dad? It's the same kind of thing. Cyclops is your daddy. Remember the Daddy's Home ads when he was in the Racer X costume? Yeah, because even when he was a terrorist, he flexes his muscle by not throwing a punch. Remember when he had Tempest, right? Was that her name? The time travel girl?
Yes.
With the white streaks in her hair?
Yes. I'd say yeah. That sounds right.
Right? Or temporal, or whatever?
I think it's Tempest.
Right? Remember when he just had her freeze the Avengers on national TV?
No.
there was a newsreel there,
Yeah.
and she freezes them, and he's just like, there you go. I just took Earth's Mightiest Heroes off the board. I didn't raise a fist. I didn't pick up a finger in hostility. He doesn't have to. He's smarter than all of them. He's going to make them look dumb every time. Yeah. He's just better than all of them.
I don't think that makes him likable at all.
That makes him very likable.
No.
Okay, fine. How about the mad quality tail he's pulled down in his day?
That doesn't mean shit. What about the fact that?
But Bruce also, it's also a bad factor. Look at the ladies.
But again, you're
Look at
using
the
Batman as the like this is top tier. Like Batman's the best, and this is why you should like Cyclops.
I mean, Batman is the best. He carries a whole company on his titles.
Yeah, I guess. But what about Scott? Just being like, oh, Jean.
Well, so I think we're in a state now.
Now it's not so much.
Right. I think
In the past, though.
Well, I think post Phoenix Saga, like you watch your wife die. You really have to be issue 1, watching her show up in the cab and the 4 boys drooling at the window to catch the whole time. Like he pined after her in books longer than real people pine after women.
Sure.
Right?
He's had time to.
Yeah, and doesn't actually get to like be with her till like reboot era, like after the reprints.
Right.
And shortly after that, some midget comes trying to step in between. I think there's a lot to be said for a guy who can hold his shit together during that amount of loss. And the psychological games that were played with him by Sinister via Madeline Pryor, because like we use the word clone, but we don't actually talk about like in detail what a clone is, right? Clones are generally exact replicas.
Yes.
Right? Now Laura Kinney, no. She's a clone with some extra bits from some woman, which is why she's a girl. She's not an exact clone of Wolverine. But Strife or Cable is the exact clone. Madeline is the exact clone. So if you're under that kind of duress and you meet a woman that looks like Jean, sounds like Jean, smells like Jean, while, you married her, and it was kind of consolation prize to find out that it's not the real deal, and you had a kid, which, like, you stand by your family, but then you have to, like, send this kid into the future, otherwise he's going to die, and then you're like, well, I would have held it together for the family. Now I'm with this lady who's not the lady, but a copy of the lady I want to be with. And none of the friends, as tight-knit as the X-Men are, living in the same house, being a family, you're my sister, you're my brother, none of them step up and go, hey, isn't it a little weird? Everyone in that house is to blame for that whole situation.
I don't know, man. Like, he just kind of really just went like, la 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 la, and like he just ignored it.
Was 97 did a nice
Yes, the cartoon
reboot to that. I think that was
smoothed it out a little bit.
Yeah, at the time, I think that was a whole heap of bad writing. But I'm gonna say under the psychological duress that this man has been under, when it's like, look at this thing that was ripped away from you. Here's an exact replica.
I don't know, man. You fight that. You talk about the guy who's all willpower, and he just went, nope, thank you.
Well, this is his one hangnail, right? This is the biggest thing that hangs him up, right? He's a guy who's had countless other women thrown at him, and yet always goes back to Jean, which is why the triangle is always a problem. But again, if you have this one guy who keeps coming back, it's like, you've lived 200 years and you've had countless romances, but you keep trying to get with my wife. What the fuck, bro?
Well, it's the love of his life this decade.
Yeah, this decade. But even when they did the Death of Wolverine, the last couple of pages were like a splash page of little panels of every woman he's ever been with.
Loved.
Yeah, loved. ever loved, right? Eureka and all of them, right? The Canadian Native American girl, I don't remember her name. Silvermane? Yes, yeah. But the big splash page, the one solid page, is him and Jean. He was dating Storm at the time.
No, he loved Jean more.
But Storm was his current girlfriend.
He loved Jean more.
We talk about consolation prizes. No matter how bad Scott made Madeline feel, who, she rebounds with his brother, so she gets a Consolation Summers brother. Consolation Summers brother, Consolation Telepath. That's fine. The way Wolverine has treated Storm is nothing in comparison.
Don't worry, they have a kid.
Right. Out of all the X-Men he tends to be the most flawed, which I think makes him the most interesting.
Cyclops is the most flawed?
Yeah, because he's a normal guy.
Explain to me how he's the most flawed, please. I was going to try to wrap this up now. All bets are off. How is he the most flawed?
Because he's 100% secure and confident in his field decisions.
What a flaw.
But none of his life decisions. You know, he's a guy who strives for perfection so hard that he'll never attain it. Think about it. He always feels like a fucking failure.
Yeah, but that drives him to be a better person.
I know, but it's his mindset. No one shits on Scott more than Scott.
That's why he continues to improve.
I know.
So how is it a flaw?
It's a flaw. It's a relatable flaw. It's a flaw in the character of, like, hey, I get that. Like, I get not feeling perfect, you know?
Oh, yeah, man, I am not a perfectionist. I'm a good enough-ist.
Right. But some
I'm willing to put things out in the world that's just good enough.
And I subscribe to that. And I think that's great. I think as long as you try and put effort into something, you know, like, I like to do art, I like to paint, draw, whatever the medium may be, but I'm not great at it. As long as I'm happy with what's done at the end, I don't care what anybody's opinion of it is, as long as I'm happy with it.
Right, I think that's more of it's probably more of a flaw than fucking what Cyclops is doing.
No, because I feel like he is someone who has to live up to other things. You know, like, he has to live up to Xavier's dream. Xavier can't stand up for his dream.
Yeah, it's a low blow,
right?
Because he's in a chair.
But Scott has to represent this thing, and you've watched Xavier fail at his dream,
right,
and completely be a hypocrite and be
Xavier
found out about it.
Up to his
right. So he had to stand up. He had to have that moment where he goes, "No, Dad, no." Like, you're a hypocrite. You lied to us. You know, I'm referring to the whole Danger Room thing,
yeah.
You know?
Yes.
You know, the Danger Room robot, the intelligence that ran the Danger Room was found out to be an entity named Danger. You know, and basically she was trapped in there. Xavier trapped her in there. Mm-hmm. And when the X-Men found out about it, they basically kicked him out of the school. They told him he wasn't welcome there, you know? And that's, you know... You hear these things where he watches people that represent ideals that he was supposed to fight for, and then he had to redefine himself to what he had to have his own mission now, and that's, you know, came along with the Utopia thing where he was finally like the leader. Mm-hmm. You know, I like the Utopia era just like I like the Krakoa era. I really didn't want to see either end, but the Utopia ending felt a lot better. It felt like there was a lot of growth. Because even though it seemed like Cyclops and Wolverine were basically having a lovers' quarrel on the shores of Utopia, and it seemed very bratty in the context of the 4 issues of Schism, there was an issue of Uncanny after where he's taking Wolverine's nameplate off the locker in the locker room. Right, he's just like,
I don't know. Maintenance guy for that? Like, why is he doing it?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's a micromanager. Another negative to him.
Right, and then Emma comes in and talks to him, and she's like, "Are you upset? Are you upset that they're going to open this school without you? Or they're going back to Westchester?"
Did Wolverine have a top locker or a bottom locker?
They were the long ones. They're individual top to bottom.
Right? Bottom locker.
But Emma asked him if he was upset that he wasn't going back to the school and open up the school and run the school and whatever. And he said, no. He said, I finally feel like I graduated. He's like, for the first time in my life, I feel like I graduated. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you know, that's crazy valid. Think about being an X-Man. It's like, what are you? I'm a student until I become a teacher.
Forever.
For life.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like, this is my identity. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't get to be anything but this.
Right.
In uniform, out of uniform, I'm an X-Man. I don't know. I think it's perspective, man. It's perspective.
Oh, absolutely. I don't dislike Cyclops. I like Cyclops quite a bit. And like I said, I was going to go into this playing a little devil's advocate. And it's hard to do that because I hold a lot of the same views you do. But like I don't know necessarily how to take him down other than like he's got to stick up his ass. It's like, okay, so what?
Yeah. I mean, if anything, like, you know, you can more than arguing reasons to like him because you have to find that for yourself. You have to, like, he has his moments where you're just like, yeah, that's why, mm-hmm. you know, like when they were doing X of Swords, And the Quiet Council was like, oh, we can't send people to save the X-Men. Like, this is a political thing, and we can't, like, give the okay. And Scott's like, I'm going to go do that anyway, because that's what I do. I save people. And he walks out of the room, and Magneto and Xavier are like, oh, thank God we got this guy. Like, because we can't tell him to do it, but thank God he's going to go do the right thing.
Right.
It's one of those things where it's like, all right, this is a guy who steps up every time.
He's the guy who does what he needs to do.
You know?
Absolutely.
Like, they were going to put him on trial multiple times. Did he was like, all right, I'm going to bust out. No, he sat there and did his time. He sat in jail. He's like, yeah, I'll have my day in court. He's like, I'll sit here and play, witness to your farce. Like, yeah.
All right, I think it's good enough. We've got enough for, like, almost 20 minutes on that.
I don't know, for 20 minutes about Scott Snyder, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. I don't know how you did it. So, thanks for the question, Tim. That definitely got Brian going.
Hopefully, it'll be the last time I ever give that speech.
Never. No, it's going to go forever.
Oh my God, it's been like 17 years of giving that same speech.
Well, because, someone's going to walk in and go, Cyclops sucks. And then there you go.
If he sucked, there wouldn't be t-shirts that said he was right.
Those t-shirts are old. He's not right anymore. There's t-shirts that said Magneto's right.
I know. And
So,
he was.
He was, yeah.
Briefly.
Yeah.
But there hasn't been a shirt that says anybody's right after that, so he was the last one to
He's
be
the last
right.
to be right. Nobody's right anymore.
Right?
All wrong. So we got books to talk about. Anything you want to start with in particular?
I want to do last week and then this week?
Whatever you want.
Well, let's do last week first.
Okay.
I know you read Captain America.
Yep.
Pretty good.
I liked it.
Sliding time scale, which, like, always a little...
So, Chip Zdarsky and Valerio Schiti doing it. I like the idea of sliding the time scale because you have to make everything make sense, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't see it... I don't remember this happening with Cap at all in the past. Like, definitively, he woke up this time, other than, like, the original, like, what did he wake up 20 years after, right? Because it's, like, 65-ish.
Yeah.
It would be before that, right? Avengers was 63?
Yes.
I fuck up the start dates for all those. Anyway, the only other character I remember, like, doing, like, a hard update is Punisher.
Yeah, because
it's just like, hey, whatever the last war was, that's where he was.
Yeah, because he's just a guy, so...
He was in Vietnam, he was in Korea, he was in all this shit. He was in Iraq twice, but now they've updated Cap to being woken up post 9/11, which is wild. It makes me feel old.
I think the thing that I won't like about this is, like, I like consistency through titles, and in this issue, he's new to being Cap again.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out his place in the world.
Right, yeah, and I don't like wishy-washy Cap that's insecure about things. I'm used to Cap leading the Avengers.
He's not wishy-washy, though. He's,
no.
He's a man struggling with what his place in the world is, which is what Cap is, right? But, like, what I really liked about it, it's like, everyone I know is dead. Everything's different. Where do I go? The only people who will have me, military. Goes right back to the army.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
Give me something to do.
I thought that was
I'm a soldier. What are we doing?
That was great. Like that, him just going, nope, this is my place in the world. I also thought it would have been funny if they were like, oh, by the way, you're not a captain. That rank was made up. Like, you can wear your fucking costume, that's fine, but you're a private asshole. Like, you be peeling potatoes every Tuesday like every other private. But I only wrote down the one note is, like, he's like, oh, do they still have God? Like, and it's like, I just felt like...
You fixate on the weirdest shit.
I do, because, like, Steve, I feel like, would be a guy of, like, really strong moral conviction and like...
That doesn't necessarily mean religion.
Yeah, but if he's religious...
Which he's never been, like, shown to be, as far as I know.
No, but he's questioning it in this instance, which makes you think that he is.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think people who believe are and and I don't believe, so I'm just fucking theorizing here. I'm not a believer, but I would think that, like, they would kind of be like, nah, fuck that. Like, he has to exist. Like, I still believe, so he has to exist.
Yeah, but he's waking up. But you're looking at it all wrong. He's waking up at a time.
I know. He's asking if these fucking heathens still believe.
It's a cultural thing. Does God still exist in the world? Do other people believe?
I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that, like I just feel like Steve would just be like, oh man, because if he doesn't, I'm gonna have to bring it back to these heathens, because Because, like, of course he exists.
That whole thing, I think, goes to the broader, like, context of the story, where he is now dealing with who he is in this time, and now his legacy. Because, like,
yeah, the conversation with Reed was awesome.
right, I think there's this context now that we've had such a large gap from when he went into the ice to where he is now, which they're grappling with, is in the intervening time, Captain America has become a legend. He's become an American legend.
Right. Yeah.
And now he's
like almost folklore.
Right.
Yeah.
Now he has to wrestle with the, like, am I that?
Yeah. Like,
do I try to live up to that?
Yeah, it's like,
Or
I'm
do I
going to
just
live
do
up
my
to
own
that,
thing?
and you guys made that up. Like, that wasn't even me.
Right,
like,
but that's that's a viable thing, and I like that angle on it.
Sure.
You know, where prior context is like, oh, look, Cap's back. He's only been gone for so long.
I'm just saying, in a Cap book, you'll get a very grounded Cap who will struggle with that.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be, like, very relatable, and it'll be very sincere, and it'll be like, oh, this is really fucking cool and deep. And in the Avengers, you won't get that.
That's fine, but this is also happening outside of what's happening in the broader universe currently, which I enjoy.
I know, but, like, it's resetting the timeline, so it's kind of like, how does it apply to the rest of the universe, too?
Everyone just gets a bump to post 9/11. Avengers don't exist until post 9/11. Period. Like, you just build everything off of that point. And we never have to talk about it, we just know it exists there now.
Yeah, but then it all gets real, like, messy, and it's like, all right, so the Fantastic Four are kind of young.
Yeah, they're brand new.
But they like exist before the Avengers because Cap's just thought now, like where.
Yeah, but they did.
Like where
they were the first. They were the first book.
Right, but where the X-Men fall in place and all that, like it's just the sliding time scale, like it works, and like in the context of this story and this story in particular, it was really good, but like in the bigger picture, I kind of like.
But if you take look at it this way. So let's say, because Avengers is what. We said 63?
I think it's 63.
X-Men is what, 64, right?
No, X-Men 63.
63? Okay, whatever. They're within a year of each other, right?
Yeah.
So if Cap just comes out of the ice, they're teenagers at that point, right? So if they're teenagers in 2001, well, guess what? If we update now, they're all in their 30s. So it all makes sense.
I know, but the X-Men are already sloppy because you have the time jump.
Yes, comics suck for the timeline stuff.
And it's less about a timeline thing and more about a consistency of character thing. Like, will he be as non-confident in who he is and how he fits in an Avengers story? No, he's going to be our Cap.
We have a fully formed Cap right now. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, so in this story.
But see him falter and find who he is, I think is I like that kind of story. And like you said, it makes him relatable. Zdarsky writes him super relatable. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
And I think another part of that's going to be the fact that within the story, there's a mirroring of his origin,
right,
of a wimpy kid who's in New York who sees the towers fall and like, I'm joining the military.
Oh, but this is going to go the wrong way.
It's definitely going to go the wrong way.
Yeah, this is going to be a problem.
But basically, it's the same thing. He's scrawny. He has a hard time getting in. Once he gets in, he gets shit on by everybody. A guy finds him and is like, hey, I can cure your asthma. And they're really experimenting on him. And he gets souped up with a serum and a shield. And that's where the issue ends. So he's definitely going to go bad. But it's going to be the...
Also, this Cap is very compassionate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, like there's a terrorist with a bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, it's, you know, essentially a suicide bomber. I mean, you know, he's a homeland guy. He's ex-military. He's not like a foreign terrorist. But, you know, instead of just beating the shit out of him, Cap empathizes with him.
Yeah.
You know, and talks him down. And it's like, you know,
because he was a vet.
Right. Because he's a vet. You know, and it's one of those things where you're like, you know, again, when you pick up an Avenger book. Or like a modern day Sam book, or you know, like even the last volume of Cap, like it was way more superhero, like way more punching people in the face.
Well, that was Straczynski just being like, I'm going to finish this storyline, and I'm going to finish that storyline, and I'm going to write what I want. Fuck Cap.
It's much better. Like I would way more like a Cap book where he's likable because I tend to not like him.
Yeah, I'm not a big Cap fan either, but that's the thing. I want to see a relatable Cap, and I think this is going to do it for me. So
I would just like to see it in other places. Is basically what I'm saying.
Sure, look,
you know,
this could be the nudge that kind of maybe pushes that through into other things.
See, I'm looking at a history book. Go, Secret Empire. When the fuck was I a Nazi?
Overall, I liked the book, which is rare for a Captain America book, but I like Zdarsky, so, you know.
Did you read I really didn't want to read it, but I read it. I even liked it a little.
Oh, you're talking about Wolverines and Deadpools, aren't you?
Yeah. Wolverine and Deadpools.
Wolverines and Deadpools.
Wolverines
the daddy-daughter crossover.
Yeah.
So it's Cody Ziegler, Roge Antonio, I think. It's Roge for first name, so I'm assuming Roge, but I'm not positive.
I mean,
it was fine for a read, but it didn't impress me. You know what got me into the book? Why the fuck is Agent X here? And why is Lady Bullseye here? And then you turn me off by going, it's Shadow King, and I go, ugh, gross.
Yeah, you know who I never want to see ever, anytime ever? Shadow King. But Agent X, it was like, oh shit, this guy.
Right, when's the last time we saw him?
They only bring you up every 10 years.
More than that, goddamn.
Like 14 issue. Like the last time I remember him, he was like 400 pounds eting cheeseburgers.
I don't
it's like
even remember.
Healing factor, metabolism, shit the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like fat. When Ellie goes home and is visiting the adoptive family and gives the mom the robot hand and is like, Dad says hi. He hasn't seen you since the Duggan run.
Yeah. I do like that she is not in on the joke either. She doesn't have the fourth wall break. She's just as confused as everyone else.
Yeah.
I do like that.
Yeah, so I
don't
don't know
like
what he meant by that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I like that's not passed on to her. Yeah.
But it was all right. It was all right.
You know what? If you removed Deadpool and Wolverine and just had the girls crossover, I enjoyed their part a lot more than I liked the Deadpool and Wolverine.
Agreed.
I really did.
Agreed. I don't want to talk about it. Let's go Gehenna. Gehenna. I've deferred to you this like 4 times this week. Gehenna.
There you go.
Naked Aggression.
Yeah, by Patrick Kindlin and Maurizio
Rosenzweig.
It's a good name.
That's a great name. I would announce it like a villain everywhere I went. Maurizio Rosenzweig. That was fun. I really like the artwork. It's pretty dynamic. Kind of straight up shit. Like lady's on a revenge kick because her husband and
it's female Punisher.
Yeah, it's female Punisher.
Punisher.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of ruthless, kind of kick ass. I'm down.
The whole book was kind of just meh for me. I want to see what happens with the second issue. Maybe they'll really kick it up. But for an intro issue, it was just like, okay, cool. It's fast paced. We're in it. Like,
yeah, it was very fast paced. It was running. They hit the ground
doing
running.
the thing.
Yeah,
killing people, kidnapping this kid. We're doing the whole thing. That said, it's not doing anything new, so it wasn't like, oh boy, this is great. We'll see what the Dolly Parton, bad lady is going to do.
Yeah. I read Charlemagne the God's Illuminati.
Didn't read that. Music.
That one was
blood sacrifice stuff.
That was a lot cool. Yeah, it seems like there's blood sacrifice stuff going on. It's a murder mystery. Sister goes out to L.A. to find out about her sister who's been murdered. And it's probably the record label.
Yeah, you have to sacrifice the blood for success or whatever.
The sister is showing up. Lily is looking for Janet's murderer.
Jackson?
No. She was naked a lot though, so maybe. But
nudity also part of the plan for making it successful.
Yes, Lily.
Boobs and blood.
Lily is seeing visions of Janet, and Janet's like giving her like kind of like cryptic messages, like get out of here before trouble shows up, and like trust this guy, he's cool.
Okay.
So it's got some supernatural shit going on. So
all right, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
The record label guy definitely not cool. Like he tries to like rope in Lily to finish the work that Janet was doing.
Yeah, you want to come to a freak off?
Yeah, kind of. Is like, hey, like you just said you're talented and you can finish the work and
BYOB, bring your own baby.
Yeah, she got freaked out and left, and then he like pricked his thumb and smeared blood on an owl trophy or something. So it was like,
okay,
I was like, all right, this is interesting.
So it's was it Molech? Molech is that owl?
Molech. Maliki boom boom day. And if we have to talk about it, the X-Men Hellfire Vigil.
I still didn't read it.
You still didn't read it?
Nope. I prioritized some other stuff.
Good for you, because it was not good.
I wasn't looking forward to it.
No, it's not. It's yucky.
I didn't think it would have the same heft that any of the galas did.
I mean, first off, it's written by like 8 goddamn people, so like that never helps.
So it's probably the last one of these we're ever going to see, which is cool.
Yeah, I hope so. I really genuinely hope so. But do like Scott and Jean, even like she takes her time out of her busy schedule from space to come down and suck face with Scott, and I still like hate it. I still hate it.
So not a good issue overall.
No, like the coolest thing about it is Ransom and Temper from the opposite teams, like in the crossover, in the Manhunt crossover, they got to play googly eyes at each other.
Yeah.
So they got to kind of have a date at the Dazzler performance.
Okay, that's cool.
It's like the most well-written part.
So that's
like,
the best part?
For me.
What was the worst part?
The worst part? Honestly, there's two. There's either Psylocke and the rest of the team shitting on Scott for not going because he doesn't want to go.
Right. Was he just sulking at home eating ice cream?
Yeah, kind of. And like, so they're really getting down on him for not wanting to go, and they go, and you're kind of like you're reading through it, and you see everybody like getting together and acting cool and like being like, oh, maybe you should have went dick, like like maybe let's be a leader and show up for other people. And then you find out that Storm has like a whole gathering at her place. It's not even, she doesn't go to the gala, and she has like a whole like party of her own at her own like her base or whatever.
Well, one queen at one point.
Whatever.
Also, don't fuck with Storm.
It's not like she's not partying with Araco people up on Mars. She's in her like little helicarrier thing in Georgia with Maggot. Like, it's like, what? You just didn't go hang out with Kitty and Iceman, and like you didn't go.
You don't understand how cool Maggot is.
Like, apparently I don't.
His Maggot's really good at karaoke.
And Gateway and like I forget who the fuck else was there, but like why are you not getting together with the rest of people? You don't have a chip on your shoulder or anything like that, like possessed by a god right now, but like, like
maybe you just don't want to go. Sometimes you don't want to go to a party. You want to do your own thing.
Yeah, she was upset about babies that she's not having. She took like a pregnancy test and it wasn't positive, and then she cried.
Oh.
And then Eternity showed up and said, well, since you're kind of a representative of mine, I don't normally intervene, but I'll give you a glimpse into the future where she has a child.
Yep.
And it's like, what the fuck is this? And the kid's like, yeah, I wanted your white hair like you, but I don't have white hair. He's like, I have your powers, and I have Daddy's powers, and I have Daddy's fangs. And you're just like, what the... Oh, God, it's not even T'Challa? What the fuck? It's Wolverines?
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, that sucks. Couldn't at least be T'Challa's kid?
I joked
Come on.
about it before, because you at least told me about that when it happened. It's, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
But I don't understand. Like, you needed 30 people partying in your lobby to like take a pregnancy test to have someone to celebrate with? Like, why wouldn't you just go be with your people?
You never did one of those parties where you just took pregnancy tests and people were sad?
I know. I just don't understand why people are shitting on Scott and not shitting on Storm for making the same decision.
Because people who hang out with Storm are cool with doing whatever they want, and everyone else just wants to peer pressure Scott because he's the leader. He should be there.
I guess. Whatever. But no.
Representative, the mutant race.
Dude.
Leader.
Storm led a planet of mutants.
Yeah, but they were different mutants.
She was a gold team leader.
Yeah, but who cares about any of those color teams? Blue, gold, red. Get them out of here.
Blue and gold are the original two from the 90s. It's Storm and Scott. What are you talking about?
Who gives a shit?
Oh. Storm beat Scott for leadership before they were even colors.
Yep, with no powers.
Kicked
his ass.
Yes. So, yeah, Storm should have been at the party.
Yeah, but he has traditionally led while she has not. But she is a leader, but not like the leader.
I know. But they love giving her that status,
almost,
don't they?
Yeah.
They love it. They love it.
Right.
But she doesn't get any of the fucking bullshit.
Let's walk away from the X-Men.
No. I still have one more shitty part of that.
Okay, go ahead.
Kitty's kids. Bronze, Axel,
the other
girl that we can't
I don't
name.
remember her name.
Yeah. They just suck.
Okay.
They're just awful, terrible characters. They're just bitching and moaning at a merch table. And I don't know who's in charge of, like, Dazzler merch or whatever, but you're in an X-Men event with a Dazzler performance, and they're making jokes about how the T-shirts are misspelled.
Now, was it an official, or was it someone was
They
do
were
a
at a
knockoff.
big merch table. How would you let a knockoff people into your event? It's a private event. It's invites. You had to get there through Krakoan gates. The last Krakoan gates
Are you
ever.
saying that there's no mutant, like, people doing knockoff gear? Come on.
Yeah, Maggot would be out in the park a lot. But yeah, it's just, do you want a Duzzler shirt? And then like the other girl who we can't remember, she can phase, right? So
she's got kids.
she grabs the other two by the hands and they phase through other people to get to the front of the crowd. I hate those fucking kids. I hate them. They are awful characters.
They're not the best kids.
Like, you give me the 4 in Uncanny all day.
Yeah, they're the top tier of the new kids. X-Men kids are second tier, and then exceptional kids are third tier.
Yeah, the exceptional book is not. It's just fucking awful.
Anyway.
Now we can get away from X-Men.
Okay.
Far, far away from
Bring on the Bad Guys. Green Goblin #1.
Right.
From last week. By Ethan S. Parker and Griffin Sheraton. Art by Matteo Della Fonte.
I'm going to tell you to go.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not a direct sequel to the previous.
But there is some...
There's connection, yeah.
All right,
There's
all
connection. Right. Doom's not in it at all, though.
But the MacGuffin thing.
Yes, so it's early Harry. It's early Harry. It is early Harry.
It's early, so you can still get an Egg McGuffin.
Damn it.
It's before 10:30.
It's early Norman. But Norman sells Harry's soul to Mephisto.
Oh, that tracks.
Yeah. Like, and Harry's like 10?
Douche dad.
Like, literally, the book starts with him just like the kid peacefully sleeping in his bed, and Norman and Mephisto looking over him, and Mephisto going like, "Yeah, I just need a soul, and then you gotta kill someone for me later, and I'll make everything you ever want to happen." And Norman's like, "Yeah, all right."
Norman's like, "That ain't even the worst I'm gonna do to him. Wait till I fuck his girlfriend in the future and get her pregnant."
So sells his soul. After that, like, his company gets better. He turns into the Green Goblin, so he kind of, like, gives into the whole thing. So this is all, like, Mephisto kind of guiding him into the life he wanted, quote-unquote. And then he has to kill a dude to fill the soul dagger, which is the thing he needs to give to Mephisto. So he points him at a dude that worked at his company, and Norman's like, gotta kill a guy, I don't know. And Mephisto's like, "Have you ever killed anyone?" He's like, "Oh, I killed my dog." Like when he was younger, so it's like Norman killing animals when he's younger.
He's already a sociopath.
Yeah. Mephisto's like, well, it's a little different, but he ends up like terrorizing this dude and killing him. And you think at some point Spider-Man's gonna show up? Nope. He just kills this dude, gives the dagger to Mephisto, and that's it.
Norman Osborn is such a scumbag piece of shit that the only person that should actually portray him in a live-action movie is Vince McMahon.
And then at the end of the book, we get a little bit of an origin for the new character, Sister Sorrow, who's like, she's like doing the legwork for Mephisto, like collecting stuff. 2 of these Bring on the Bad Guys books, which I initially thought was just going to be like a joke.
So far, pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. I'm surprised. The next one's Abomination, I think, so they're going to have to work hard to make me like that one.
Yeah.
And then we'll do a connection here, because Gotham City Sirens Unfit for Orbit, #1 and 2 have come out last week and this week. And that's by Leah Williams and Haining. Just one name.
Just one name.
But I think I had a stronger start than the first one. The first one and the last one, I was like, this just sucks. This one's like, okay.
But the last mini kind of like pulled itself.
The last mini got better as it went. This one is like, okay, it's not as bad of a start. Like, I'm into the concept. They're going to a club to look up some shit about, like, Catwoman needs something, and Poison Ivy wants to destroy this place because of environmental reasons.
Okay.
And they find out it's a spaceship, and Despero is there, and that's it.
Okay. I mean, you know, what do you expect out of a Sirens run, except for like cheeky fun at this point? You're never gonna get the quality that you got out of the original 32 issue run or whatever. So
yeah,
like, you know, everything you get now, as long as it's fun.
But like the second issue is them trying to fight Despero.
Which is, I can't imagine going well at
all.
all.
No, Harley and Catwoman get their asses kicked.
Yeah.
Ivy puts up she cuts off Despero's arm and pokes out his third eye.
That doesn't seem likely.
And then he grew them back and he went fuck you, and he like overwhelmed their minds.
Isn't he like a telepath too?
Yeah.
Like he's like fucking crazy. He fights the Justice League. I mean, he's yeah.
And he's like because
by
of
himself.
That. Yeah, basically he's gonna sacrifice a bunch of people like in the club, which is full, to some special fire that's gonna like make a ship take off or some shit. And there's a kid who's like the thing that Catwoman needs to get. Like it's kind of messy.
Yeah. They refer to the kid as like an object, right? He's like the manifold or whatever, some shit.
I don't know what it is.
He's the kid with the little red circles all over.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I don't know, but yeah. We'll see how it wraps. It's a weekly thing. There's only 4 or 5 issues, so it'll happen. Hopefully, it gets better.
And if it doesn't, it'll be over soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, like with every Gotham City Sirens thing, it's not about quality, it's about selling covers and how many variants are there that are beautiful variants.
Correct.
Yeah, this is not about good books, this is about good art.
Well, I was just saying, the last one pulled itself out of the muck, and I was happy about it. This one, I hopefully could do the same.
You know what they pull back on? You know, they take beautiful connecting covers, like Gil Marsh covers, and then they fucking make them foil, and they put that wavy design through the foil. Like, what are you doing? What are you fucking with this man's art for?
We're charging $2 extra for this.
Keep the goddamn gimmick and stop ruining this guy's nice art. I love Gil Marsh. Like those foil, foil's one thing, but these are like textured foil. It's just ugly. It's just ugly.
Yeah.
They make me seasick.
Talking about selling covers, Marvel Swimsuit Special #1.
Well, I mean, that's a different kind of selling covers because it was hard to pick. Max Brooks one with all the...
I went with the Brooks one.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. It was some nice covers. This was...
Mark Brooks.
Yeah. It's different from the tradition of the swimsuit specials.
I liked it.
I kind of missed the oversized format and making it feel more like a magazine. And I always appreciated the old ones for what they were, but there was a lot of acknowledgement of the old ones.
Yeah, it got real meta about it.
Yeah.
Like we're making a magazine.
On one hand, I enjoyed that it was like just a fun read and it was very meta, and I was like, I'm in on all the jokes. But the other hand, I kind of nostalgia-wise, I kind of wanted it to be a nostalgia thing. I wanted it to be oversized. I wanted it to...
What I didn't like, and
lots of nice art.
What I caught was there were some recycled covers in there. I was hoping for like new art.
Yeah.
My sneaking suspicion is outside of the actual covers of the book, everything that got in there as like art is probably recycled.
Yeah, because Elsa Bloodstone. Yeah, Coppertone homage.
Right, and there was a couple in there I recognized. So like, it's like, oh, they're just recycling art. Boo.
The X-Men one pissed me off.
Which X-Men one?
The one with Krakoa in the background.
Oh, okay. Well, you know.
It's like, dude...
Like I said, it's recycling art.
I had the Gala throwing the tree's face in the background, and it's like, all right, they don't explain why the tree has a face in the background. Like, is it a stage prop? Is it whatever? Is it some holographic image? Like, you know... dead tree holographic image, you know. All right, whatever. Well, like it's the Gala. Let's say we had a representation. This one, you know, it's got the tree in the background, like it's still alive. There's that little Doug in a swing and a tree swing sitting in it. Like, stop rubbing salt in the wound, man.
It's stupid, silly fun. Like I'm not coming for it to like.
I'm bitter about Krakoa. Like every time you throw this shit in my face, I'm gonna get pissed off.
Like, look, that was a cover that they threw in there. It probably got made during the Krakoa era, and that was it.
See, that one I didn't recognize as a previous released.
Yeah, cover. I don't recognize all of them.
I know. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I don't recognize all of them. Maybe some of them aren't.
It could have been a high.
Because the Rogue Gambit one, which is just them falling into a pool, which is nice. I don't recognize that one either. So I don't think maybe all of them were.
I don't know. They could have been high ratio variants. They could have been they could have been exclusives to sites that you know, like Marvel bought, whatever it is.
Could have been one of 500 cover that we
right, exactly. but regardless, like so, just because I didn't say it's by Tim Seeley, Tony Fleeks, and Nick Bradshaw. But yeah, they're setting up a stupid thing where like Roxxon makes an AI magazine about superheroes. And there's some outrage about it. And they go, hey, that's us. And then to combat it, they make the issue that you're reading by going around asking people to, like, model for it. And that's the whole thing.
It should have turned into a She-Hulk issue where she sued them for infringement.
Well, she even says that, like, she's gone up against Roxxon before, and blah, 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 blah. You know, like, there's a whole, like you said, there's a whole lot of meta stuff going on in there. It was a fun, enjoyable read. It was quick, pretty art. I liked it. Something silly.
Yeah, it was alright.
Any like more like top stuff for this week? Because we're approaching an hour. I don't want to go too far over.
Top stuff? No, I read some wacky shit. Boy, this week there are a lot of books about wanting to kill cops.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Wild Animals.
Okay.
I forget the main character's name because it changes. His mom's dying. He's got like bad body scars apparently from like wounds he received when he was young. The mom dies. He works at a clerk in a convenience store. These teenage kids beat the shit out of him. He's just like down on his luck kind of shit going on. And he finds this black box in his mom's closet and cracks it open and finds this information. His father was a cop, and like a good cop, and he turned in information on 3 bad cops, and 3 cops came to and murdered his dad in front of him, and there was like something cooking on the stove, and like one of them grabs the pan, and that's how the kid receives the burns.
Okay.
They call him Bacon Face. His name's Neil. And I forget what his name actually is. His name in the present is Neil, but he finds out that his mom had her name and his name changed, and they relocated for their safety. And he goes back to work. He has to go to work, and he's the shit kicked out of him. He's bandaged and shit. His mom just died, and one of the kids that kicked the shit out of him comes back to steal beer, and he just fucking snaps. It's like falling down. He locks the door behind the kid. He goes and he beats the shit out of the kid. The kid's asking him to call an ambulance by the time he's done, and that's it. He steals some beer and he steals some bags of chips, and he gets in his car and quits his job and drives off to go find these cops to fucking kill him.
Okay, so it is like falling down. It's just like
I'm done. That's
done. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So got me. Wild Animals. I'm in for the ride. I'll watch him kill a whole bunch of people. And they chose violence. Wild Animals was Mad Cave.
Okay.
And they chose violence was AWA, which is those lowers here.
Yeah, they're putting out good work. They chose violence, or they choose violence.
They choose violence.
That's on my list. I'm going to read that.
Wild Animals was Ed Brisson writing.
Okay.
And Andy Kuhn on the art. Brisson I've heard before. I've read his stuff by him before. They chose violence was Sheldon Allen and Mauricio Campitella.
Not familiar.
And again, is 3 black women who are just tired of people in their community being murdered by cops. And they basically have like a girls' night where they're kind of like consoling each other, and they have like an admission that they have had like fantasies about like killing people and information about shit that they shouldn't have.
Okay.
And they just basically make this pact to like go into hardcore training to murder cops and corrupt politicians, and they do, and they go on a fucking tear.
Okay.
And it's I don't know if it's like, it's got to be like Trump's first run in office, because he gets elected at the end of the book, and they're basically just like, we're taking out all these bad people because all these bad people that run shit, and then they're all sitting in front of a TV watching him getting.
Okay, so this book's not going to end. It's not going to finish, is what you're saying?
No, I hope it does.
It's going to get canceled.
There is the girl is talking about something, and if you remember the old TV show In Living Color with that made all the Waynes famous.
I am too little.
You're too little?
I'm a little boy.
I'm tiny. I couldn't see TV. It's too tall.
Before me.
Kim Waynes, sister, used to have this bit where she would gossip a lot. And then at the end, she'd be like, but you ain't heard that from me because I ain't one to gossip. The woman says that. Like, and there's no quotation marks. She just says the line. Okay. And like, I knew. You didn't need to tell me. I knew.
It just clicked over in your head.
Clicked. I was like, that's what that is. Cool.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So apparently I'm going to read a lot of books about people killing cops.
Well, as long as they're bad cops.
They're terrible cops.
They're like, the thought that came to mind when you were saying all that was like Dark Charlie's Angels.
Dark Chocolate Charlie's Angels.
I wasn't going with that, but yeah, okay. But like Dark Violet,
they're
like
fucking hot too.
Okay, that's cool. Great. I'm just saying, but like vengeful, like X-Force Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
it's cool. Sticking with the violence, if that's the way you want to go. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring #1 came out.
Well, at least it's like fanciful little animal violence. My violence was so real.
Yeah, but like this is like Dexter super like serial killer violent. It doesn't make it any better that there's like cute animals.
It does. It does.
It doesn't.
It'll take you out of it a little bit.
It's by Patrick Horvath. So it's a really solid start to another volume because this is the second volume.
I didn't read it because I didn't read the first volume.
Okay,
that's why I didn't go with that.
Direct. I would read the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a direct sequel. Like it takes place like 8 years later, and
that's why I'm glad we do this.
There was a victim of the main character in the first book. His sister is still looking for him.
Oh, okay.
Like she moved to the city. She's been trying to find him for 8 years.
So she has to die.
She hates her life. She's like, I moved here to find him, and I'm still here. I have this dead end job. I'm just doing it to find him. Like her whole life is obsessed with trying to find him, and like she's on crime forums and stuff like that. Plus, it's like the early '90s, mid '90s, so it's early internet. But she ends up getting a tip. She goes to the town where the serial killer lives. And it kind of goes from there. Like it's a really good start to the thing. Like most of the issue is just following this chick.
The tone of the first volume.
Mm-hmm.
The killer get away? Did he get found? Is he still in the wind?
All right. So for the first volume,
yeah,
the serial killer is the main character.
Okay.
She is the main character. It's from her point of view, where she every once in a while she just has to kill somebody to like quell the demons within her, kind of thing.
Okay.
But what ends up happening is it's a tiny town in Vermont, and someone else starts killing people in town, and because it endangers her, she needs to figure out who it is and take them out.
Okay.
That's the first book. Yeah.
So this one kind of changes pace, where it's like someone looking for the murderer as opposed to
right. And I don't know what the motivations for the main character is. Her name's Samantha.
Okay.
I don't know the motivations for why.
So conceptually, the sequel seems a little more straightforward than killer versus killer.
I mean, the last one was kind of like, oh, it's a mystery. You have to figure out who it is. So I don't know what the idea for this one is right now. Like, I don't know why any of this.
Well, just going off the sister trying to find closure.
But the thing is, the main character, Samantha, sends her a message on a message board. It's like, hey, you should come check out this town. Like, she brings her there.
Kill you.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't know why.
Okay.
But yeah. See.
All right.
I liked it. I liked the first one a lot. I really enjoyed this first issue. And like you said, it's got that watercolor, like, World of Richard Scary kind of vibe going on, and
it's fun because it had they are all like little creatures in clothes, like little teddy bears in clothes and stuff, but it does have that like watercolored kind of textured real aesthetic to it,
I enjoy it quite a bit.
Art's old storybooky uneasy, like it's still like it holds the vibe of like the creepiness.
Anything else you got?
No, because I tore through like all my shit was redundant. We just murdered cops a lot this week.
Okay. I only have two other things I want to talk about. One super quick. I speed read Fantastic Four First Steps #1.
Okay.
Which is tie into the movie. It is a comic that's published in universe for them. So it's a comic that's published in the 60s using first-hand accounts from interviews of the Fantastic Four to recount their first days as themselves.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and there's like magazine pages in there, Johnny Storm's so hot, and there's just like interview with him in there, and there's like a questionnaire kind of thing, and like it's set up like a magazine in universe.
I haven't been watching trailers.
I've been avoiding a trailer because they always give too much away, so I want to...
The outfits that they're wearing on that cover, are those the movie outfits?
Yeah.
Alright, then I already dislike the movie.
But within the book, I don't know if it gives anything away for the actual movie. They get into more traditional outfits at one point, so...
I hope so. Because that full clothed outfit on the thing?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Thing belongs in shorts, and that's it. I don't want to see thing...
swimsuit thing. These trunks just keep getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, right. But that sweater and shit, oh no, that was fucking awful. And like the powder blue, oh, so gross.
It could get better.
You might as well have those frilly shirts with the powder blue tuxes. Oh, so
they
bad.
can color correct. And the only other thing I want to talk about is I didn't read the first issue when it came out. Second issue is out this week, so I read both back to back today.
Trinity.
The Trinity daughter Wonder Woman 1 and 2. I love that book. It's just silly fun. It's just silly fun. It's so good.
I can't wait to read it.
It's time travel bullshit. It's the three.
Yeah, just flipping through it, I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
It's the 3 ages of Trinity, of Elizabeth or Lizzie, interacting with each other, because little Lizzie and like early teenage Lizzie fuck up time travel stuff, and old Lizzie has to like come and help, and them interacting with each other it's just wonderful.
Yeah, her crushing on Jason Todd I found funny.
It's Tom King writing it, which is like, oh, he's so serious, blah 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 blah. It's like, no, there's so much humor in it. It's done by Tom King and Belén Ortega. Art looks great, super expressive. King's writing, fabulous in this. It's so light. It makes me laugh several times a book.
The Death in the Family variant, a corgi in the family, is just hysterical.
So that's all I got.
All right,
cool.
2 solid weeks.
Yeah, I'm enjoying stuff, which is nice. Next week is going to be part 2 of our saga Swamp Thing, the Alan Moore.
God, is that still going on?
Yeah, the last. Remember, we record stuff like way in advance.
I know, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, don't we have like 2 book reports already done past that?
Yeah.
Beyond that.
Yeah. Well, 2-parters tend to stretch the time. We can take a week off 1 week or another.
Beyond the Swamp.
So yeah, part 2 of Swamp Thing. And that's it. Thanks for listening. If you would like to get in contact with us, to send us questions like Tim did, tell us about European tornadoes or Russian tornadoes or African tornadoes, cool. You can give us suggestions for future book reviews. You can do that at thecomiccryptcast@gmail.com. You can follow the store on Instagram and Facebook. Links for those will be in the show notes. See all the cool new stuff we're getting in week to week. And other than that, go read your books. Go read your books. So, because I squeaked that one a little too much.
Try something new. Tons of good stuff.
Don't kill cops, though.
We loading up the hearse, throw it in reverse. I come from the church of the Marvel Universe. Bodies getting stuffed in the bags like comics. The hardcore get it while the soft bitches vomit. I came to this earth on a radiated comet. Now the planet is in perilous danger because I'm on it. Fly super villain with the superpowers in me. Got the red issues and all my shit is minty. Body like Ben Grimm, suckers I be beating down. Look around and we be found chilling out in Eatontown. I be at the comic crypt stacking up the kryptonite. Doomsday and Superman every time I grip the mic. Dark Phoenix overloading, supernova, sunspot exploding. I'm the Punisher reloading Bobby Drake when he's frozen. Storm forming ominous clouds over the ocean. Working with Professor X to master my emotion. Have you posing in the box whether you know it or not. I'll easily bag your bitch like Logan did to Scott. Mr. Sinister plots when I administer shots to clone Gene from my genes. Then this shit'll get hot like Inferno. Burn slow, humans are ash. God loves man kills in the days of future past. Now I'm working on a science lesson. Me and Brian Stratton, a rat in a cage who can't stop buying X-Men.
Like a flower,